Everybody, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing a NFL mock draft. I'm just going to keep this simple, do the first round. In the future, we'll probably spice it up, add some trades, possibly, do the second round, maybe even the third round. But as of now, I haven't done enough, a deep dive into this class. Obviously, I know all the first round play, the projected first round players and some second round, but I'm still doing, looking more into the guys projected to go later. So let's get this started. Like I said, no trades, and I do think the Chicago Bears will trade this pick, but for this scenario, we're going to say they just stick it and they pick the best player available, and I think you go Jalen Carter. Obviously, it's 50-50. You could either go him, you could go Will Anderson. I just think you value a D-tackle more right now, and I know Matt Eberflus is how you say it, the Bears head coach. When he was in Indy, he had DeForest Buckner, a good defensive tackle to rush the passer. So I think you just go ahead and you value that more right now. Obviously, edge is a huge need, but you can address that later and maybe, in free agency, whatever. At 2, we have the Houston Texans. We're going to have best quarterback available. Probably, arguably, the best player in the class, but definitely the best quarterback, I'd say. So I think Texans just need they're obviously in a rebuild mode. We don't know who their head coach is going to be yet. But I'm going to say this new head coach decides, all right, we want to start with a new quarterback. Davis Mills isn't the answer. Yeah, I guess you could argue go Will Anderson here. And then next year, take Caleb Williams, take Drake May, someone like that. But how do you know how high you're going to pick next year? Who knows? What if they're super good next year? Or not super good, but, what if they're picking at like 8 or 9 next year and they miss out on Caleb Williams and Drake May and all the top prospects, and then you're stuck with, you have to take like a Bo Nix or Shedeur Sanders, which those are still good options, but I just don't think you pass on Bryce Young. I know there is size concerns for him, but I'm not worried, honestly. I think he is trying to bulk up a little bit right now. I think he said he's trying to get to 210, but he played in the best conference of college football, and we know what he can do. I don't think the size concerns should concern you. Cardinals at 3, I think this is another trade back spot, but like I said, no trade, so we're just going to go best player available, Will Anderson. J.J. Watt just retired, and what's his name, Zach Allen, which I know he's more of like an interior, but he's a free agent, so I think you just gotta address that edge position and start rebuilding that defense. The Colts at 4, falls right in their lap, takes C.J. Stroud. I think the Colts definitely need a quarterback. I'm not sure who their head coach is going to be right now. It's looking like Jeff Saturday right now, as of right now, like the last report I saw. Go ahead and get your franchise guy. I think the Colts would be astounded to be able to build around him. They already have a good O-line. They already have Jonathan Taylor. Maybe all you have to do is maybe get him another wide receiver or two. That defense is already good. Colts would be in a good spot if they can just get their franchise guy. That's been the biggest problem since Andrew Luck retired. Seahawks at 5. You definitely got to go defense here. And it really just comes down to who do you like more, Tyree Wilson or Myles Murphy? I think you go Tyree Wilson here. He's a player who's definitely risen up people's boards a lot lately. And I think rightfully so. He's a really good player. I've seen a lot of people comparing him to Trayvon Walker, who went first last year to the Jaguars. Yeah, he's going to be a little bit more of a project, but I think he has a very high upside and would be very good for this Seattle team that needs that. Lions at 6. You could argue corner here. But I think the cornerback class this year is so deep. And they're picking again at 18. This is the Rams pick, by the way, and the Seahawks picked with the Broncos pick. They're going to pick again later, so I think you can address corner later. So unless they want the first corner off the board, they want to take Christian Gonzalez here, I think you just go edge. And I'm torn. I think either Brian Brisee or Myles Murphy. You could pair Myles Murphy up with Aiden Hutchinson coming off the edge. Brian Brisee in the middle. I just think he has a lot more injury concerns, so I think we're going to go Myles Murphy here. And you can bump him inside even if you want to. He is a big guy, so would be a very nice pairing of him and Aiden Hutchinson. Raiders at 7. Now, this is definitely going to change throughout what happens in free agency. I really do think Brady's going to end up signing with Vegas. If he doesn't retire, I really think there's a good chance he goes to Vegas to reunite with Josh McDaniels. And even if they get Brady, maybe you're like, all right, Will Levis is on the board. Let's take him, let him learn behind Brady for a year, and then rock with him next year. But I think if you are signing Brady, I'm saying this like it's already happened. I think if you are signing Brady, you just got to go O-line, get that O-line better for him. Obviously he already has the weapons. You could even go defense. So I think we're going to go O-line. And like I said, if you are getting Brady, I think even if they don't get Brady, I think they'll get, someone like Jimmy Garoppolo. They'll get a veteran quarterback who they're bringing in to win now. So I think in that case, you take Paris Johnson Jr. I think he's the best tackle right now. I think Broderick Jones has the highest upside, but I think Paris Johnson is probably the best tackle right now that can come in right away, plug him in at right tackle, or even he could play guard too. He has a lot of flexibility. And then protect whoever your quarterback is next year. We know it's not Derek Carr. We don't know if it's going to be Brady. Maybe it's Jimmy Garoppolo. Maybe they decide, all right, we're going to trade up and draft a quarterback. Who knows? But as of now, I'm going to just say that they do go out and get a veteran quarterback and that they just draft to protect them. Falcons at 8. You can go a lot of different ways here. Maybe you go corner, pair him up with A.J. Terrell. Maybe you go O-line. Maybe you even go receiver. I was going to say the third year in a row. They went Kyle Pitts. They took Drake London last year, so it would be taking a pass catcher for the third year in a row. I think you got to go defense. That defense is just horrendous. You need to get it better, so I think you take Brian Bresee here. Yeah, I know there's injury concerns, and we'll see, what happens through the scouting process. Maybe he could go in the second round for all I know. You've seen players fall a lot. We saw it last year with Malik Willis. People had him going top 10, and he went in the third round. So you never know. But in this scenario, I'm going to say the Falcons really like him, and they bring him in, to be a interior pass rusher. Pair him up with, what's his name? The outside linebacker they drafted last year. Oh, why am I blanking on his name? Arnold. Is it Arnold? If you know, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. I can't remember his exact name for some reason. Panthers at 9. They're ecstatic if this were to play out like this because Will Levis falls right into their lap. They're the only ones who has hired a head coach so far, and they hired Frank Reich, an offensive-minded coach. And the problem with Frank Reich in Indy was he never had a good quarterback. Well, he never had an elite quarterback, to coach. So I think new coach brings in a new quarterback, develops him. I think Will Levis is a project. He's not going to be, like Joe Burrow right when he comes in, but I think in the right system and with the right coach, he will be good in a couple years. I like Anthony Richardson more than him personally. I like Anthony Richardson's upside and potential more, but I think, a lot of scouts really do like Will Levis, and a lot of teams are going to like him. Eagles at 10, they basically have a free pick, take whoever they want at corner, which is crazy because they're in the conference championship right now and they get to pick at 10. James Bradbury's contract up, so I think you just got to go corner here. I'm going to take Christian Gonzalez. He's the best one. He has the highest floor. So I'm not saying he has the highest upside. He has the highest ceiling, but he's just, with the build he is, you got to look. He has super long arms. He's 6'2", 201. He's been shut down. He's a really good man corner. I think he would fit in that Eagles system perfectly, and he's a great player to pair up with Darius Slay. Assuming they don't bring James Bradbury back. Like I said, this is obviously going to change after free agency. Could even change, after the Super Bowl. Who knows? A lot of things happen, trades, free agent signings, retirements, all that. So, but in this scenario, I'm going to have him take Christian Gonzalez at 10. Titans at 11. For the longest, I had them go receiver, take the best receiver on the board. They have they have chances at it. I think you got to beef up the O-line, and I'm going to take Broderick Jones here. I think they're going to have to go into a tiny bit of a rebuild. It's not going to be like a rebuild where they're tanking. It's going to be just something where I don't think they're going to be a playoff team next year, but they probably will the year after. It's just going to they're going to have to do a little bit of, retooling is the word. Mike Vrabel is a really good coach, and I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. I really did like Malik Willis coming out last year, but he hasn't looked great. But we knew he was a project, so we'll see if they believe in him. I've seen rumors they could trade for Trey Lance because of their new GM's connections with San Francisco. So we'll just have to wait and see for that. But I think you just got to beef up that O-line. You're a running first offense, and the most important part of running the ball is having good blockers in front of Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry's getting up there in age, you know. It's not like they can just afford to suck for the next couple years. You know, you want to get the most out of him. And so he has to, you know, until he starts slowing down. Texans at 12. This is a team that just needs anything. It's a terrible team. I think you go receiver. Pair up a receiver with Nico Collins. I think they're going to trade Brandon Cooks. I think that's almost certain. So they have who? Nico Collins. John Mechie may be coming back. I'm not sure how his he's doing. I know he has cancer. But I've seen that he's recovering pretty well, so we'll see if he plays next year. But regardless of that, we got all they have is Nico. They don't have much at receiver, so I think this might be a stupid take. I'm gonna take Jordan Addison here. I think you look at what you want to get Bryce Young, a player like what he had in college, and you know you can look at like Jameson Williams. I think Jordan Addison is more like that player than Quentin Johnson. Quentin Johnson's more of a deep ball, you know, big body receiver, 6'4". But I just think that get him a faster receiver. You already have Nico Collins, who is a big body receiver, so I think Jordan Addison would be the better pick here. Jets at 13. I think there's a good chance. I mean, I've been seeing all these Aaron Rodgers rumors. There's a good chance Aaron Rodgers might be there and the Packers might end up having this pick. But, like I said, as of now, that hasn't happened. So, we're just going to take a best tackle on the board, Peter Skoronski. He could play guard, too, you know. But they don't really need much at guard. I know Laken Tomlinson hasn't been good, but I think throw Peter Skoronski at right tackle. Assuming Mekhi Becton, you know, is in shape when he comes back next year, he can be your left tackle. Protect your quarterback, whoever it is. Right now, I guess it's technically Zach Wilson, but could be Aaron Rodgers, could be Lamar Jackson, could be Jimmy Garoppolo. We don't know what the Jets are going to do. Patriots at 14. I had them go receiver for the longest, but I really like the idea of putting Devin Witherspoon in that defensive scheme. We know Bill Belichick loves to develop corners, so I wouldn't be surprised if he just takes a corner later. But they've been trying to, you know, they didn't really replace J.C. Jackson last year, and they need to. They need to replace that boundary corner spot that they lost when he left to go to L.A. So I think just draft a corner, plug him into that defense, get that defense better. You can address receiver later, or you can address it in free agency, whatever. Packers at 15. There's a good chance Aaron Rodgers will be traded, but I don't think that matters because they have Jordan Love. Go ahead, draft Michael Mayer for them. The thing about the Packers, they don't like to draft receiver in the first round. I don't know if they'll want to go tight end in the first round, but Robert Tonyan's contract's up. Michael Mayer's full package, actual tight end. You know, he's not like Kyle Pitts where he's basically just a big receiver, but he's a good pass catcher. He's a good blocker. I think he would be really good for this Packers team. Team that can run the ball with Aaron Jones and why am I blanking? I'm blanking on names today. The Quadzilla is his name, his nickname. AJ Dillon. There we go. So yeah, I think Michael Mayer is the best fit right there. 16, we got the Commanders. I think gotta go corner. They really don't have much there. Do I want to go Keely Ringo here? I know he has a high upside. I think he's going to fall a lot. I really like Cam Smith. I really like Joey Porter. Oh, that's a really good corner class this year. Really good. I could see, you know, a lot of these guys going first round. Definitely going to go corner. Let's go Keely Ringo. He has really high upside. I think he would fit well in that Ron Rivera defensive scheme. Obviously, you know, they have good pass rushers. They have a good front seven. Go ahead and get a good corner. It's simple as that. You know, they have Kendall Fuller. What's his name? I'm terrible with names today. I want to say Darnell Savage, but he's on the Packers. I'm blanking, but they need corner bad. Go ahead and draft you one. Plug him in. Start. And he doesn't even have to be your number one corner. You know, like I said, you have Kendall Fuller. You can throw him in, be your number two. Steelers at 17. You could go corner for them. You could go D-line for them. I'm going to go tackle, though. Get Kenny Pickett some protection. Question here. Do I want to go... I really like DeJuan Jones. I think there might be some concerns just with his size. 6'8", 359 is a unit. There may be some concerns with him, though. With that, I'm going to take Anton Harrison here. Protect Kenny Pickett. And they basically have another first-round pick at... Well, it's not there, but they have the 32nd pick, which is basically like the last pick in the first round that they got from the Chase Claypool trade. Lions at 18. Like I said, they could have went corner at 6, but I think they're glad they didn't because there's still some really good ones on the board. And I'm going to take Joey Porter. Really good corner. Plug him in. Jeff Okudah he wasn't terrible this year, but I'm pretty sure there's not much after Jeff Okudah. So go ahead, pair Joey Porter with Jeff Okudah, and let's do it. Bucks at 19. This is a team that's just aging a lot. I don't know. They have so many holes. I don't know what to take here. I've seen some buzz that Lucas Van Ness could go in the first round, so maybe they take him. I think they either go edge or corner. I don't think they go quarterback. I think they'll address it in free agency, assuming Tom Brady leaves. I think you just have too many needs other than running back, even though it would be tempting to take Bijan here. Receiver, you don't need. Tight end, they're fine. Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be edge or corner. And the question, do I want to go Cam Smith? I feel like they'll most likely bring Jamel Dean back. I'm going to have them go Lucas Van Ness. That might be a stupid pick to some of y'all, but I really do think there's been a lot of buzz that he could go in the first round. Almost similar to the way that Logan Hall, who they drafted last year, went. Well, did he go in the first round? I think he went in the start of the second round, but no one expected him to go that high. So... And, they drafted Joe Tyron the year before, which no one expected. This would be the third year straight they've gone edge, basically. I mean, Logan Hall is more of a D tackle, but whatever. We're going to stick with it. Seahawks at 20, I think it could be two players. You're considering two players here. You're considering Anthony Richardson, and you're considering... Trenton Simpson. Who do we draft for them earlier? Tyree Wilson. My thing, I know Anthony Richardson's a project. He's not. If you just throw him in to play next year, he's not going to be good. People are going to be calling him a bust. I think if I'm Seattle, you draft Anthony Richardson here, sit behind Geno for a year. Probably extend Geno on a 1 or 2 year deal. Let Anthony Richardson sit behind him for a year and learn. And then you can start throwing him in. Almost the way that the Ravens did with Lamar Jackson. I know the 49ers are in the process of doing that with Trey Lance, but it looks like they're going to trade him because Brock Purdy's come in and been amazing. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Anthony Richardson at 20. Charger at 21. You got to go receiver for why? Justin Herbert. Do I want Quentin Johnson or Jackson Smith-Njigba? Assuming they keep Mike Williams. Mike Williams is a big body receiver, which is what Quentin Johnson is, or Johnston is. I'm going to take Jackson Smith-Njigba here. I know he didn't play last year, so there's some concerns there with injury, but he's just too good to pass up on here if I'm LA. Ravens at 22. Cam Smith falling to 22 for them is huge. Take him. Plug him in, play on the other side of Marlon Humphreys. I don't know if they bring back Marcus Peters, but I think that would be a huge pick for them. And then Vikings at 23, same thing. Clark Phillips falls right into their lap. Plug him in. I know he is small, so there's some concerns with that, but he plays up to his competition. I think he would be a good fit. And Minnesota, a team that just hasn't been able to have much at corner in years. Obviously, they have Pat Peterson there this year, but he's just not Pat Peterson 5 years ago. You know, he's not the player he used to be. Jaguars at 24. You could go receiver here. You know, Quentin Johnson will probably be tempting. I think draft DeJuan Jones here. Throw him in at right tackle or left tackle, whatever. Maybe they could even... Yeah, I think you could throw him in at left tackle. Or maybe draft him. You could let Jawan Taylor walk. Trade... I'm terrible. Their left tackle. Cam Robinson. There it is. Maybe you trade Cam Robinson because they signed with such a big extension last year, and Walker Little's been basically playing better than him. Maybe not better, but hasn't been playing bad. So you could, you know, get rid of both your tackles, promote Walker Little be your left tackle, throw DeJuan Jones at right tackle. You gotta protect Trevor Lawrence, and you know they got Calvin Ridley coming next year. They have Zay Jones, Christian Kirk. That's a good receiving core. They're probably gonna bring Evan Ingram back. That'd be huge for Jacksonville. Make that offense better, and then they can, you know, focus on getting that defense a little better and later in the draft or in free agency. Giants at 25. I think they don't even question. They take Quentin Johnson here. It's looking like they're gonna bring Daniel Jones and Saquon back. So get Daniel Jones, a big body receiver. You can just throw it up to him. Huge red zone threat would be really good. And he's super fast for his size on top of it. You know, 6'4", 212. And I'm pretty sure he ran a 4.3 maybe. Or I don't. He's fast for his size. Cowboys at 26. I think same thing. You got to go receiver here. There aren't any corners good enough on the board, I would say. Yeah, so I'm going to go receiver here. This one might surprise some of y'all. I'm going to go Zay Flowers. This is a player I'm really high on. I've been watching a lot of his highlights, and I think he's a really, really good dynamic playmaker. He would be really good to pair with CeeDee Lamb. Just a player Dallas needs. I'm a Cowboys fan, so you know I might be a little biased saying that, but I think adding Zay Flowers to that offense would make it significantly better. And I think that Zay Flowers is a player that will go in the first round after, you know, the pro day and the combine, and all that. Bills at 27. I think this one's tough. Bills at 27. Sorry, someone came in my room. This one's tough. I think you could go Bijan Robinson. That would probably be smart. Him falling here is crazy because he's good, man. But also Brian Branch, he's really good too. And they have Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, but they're both getting up there in age. Man, I just don't think you pass on Bijan here. Obviously, that offense doesn't need to get better, but it still could. It never hurts getting your offense, you know, more weapons. And Josh Allen with Bijan, Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis. I don't know who's going to be in the slot next year, but that would be huge. That would be huge for them. And they could maybe start getting more of a run game going with him. Pair him and James Cook together. That would be really, really nice duo. Broncos at 28. Do they need linebacker? I feel like you might. They don't need safety. Well, they could. I just think this is a spot where if Trent Simpson, Brian Branch weren't here, easily I'd say take O'Cyrus Torrence. But with Trent Simpson and Brian Branch falling this far, I'm just gonna give him Trenton Simpson. He can be your outside linebacker. He could be your middle linebacker. I don't think they need edge just because they traded Bradley Chubb. I think they like what they have there, and Nick Bonito and oh man, dude, it's like when the camera turns on, I just forget everyone's name. It's crazy. I'm gonna take Trenton Simpson. I think that would be a really, really nice pickup for Denver. Cincinnati at 29. could go offensive tackle here. I don't think they need to. Yeah, Leo Collins hasn't been that good this year, and I know Jonah Williams got hurt. But Jackson Carman hasn't been playing bad. And he was playing guard for them, but he hasn't done bad getting thrown in at left tackle. So why not? I've seen a lot of people do this, so I'm going to hop on the train. I'm going to take Darnell Washington. Get Joe Burrow a huge... He's basically a receiving lineman, 6'7", 265 as a tight end. That looks like a tackle. And he moves very well for his size. He could be a pass catcher, but he could also be a huge blocker for Burrow or for Mixon in the run game. That would be a huge pickup for Cincinnati, I think. Kansas City at 30. I think you gotta go edge here. I'm going to take... Who do I want? There may be some injury concern with Nolan Smith. I do think he could still be a first-round pick. But with how this has fallen, I'm going to take B.J. Ojulari. Obviously, I can see literally these top 4 edges going first round. I could even see Andre Carter going first round. But I'm going to take B.J. Ojulari here. Pair him up. They just need more pass rush help, I think, Kansas City. And at 31, Brian Branch has fallen a lot, and C.J. Gardner is a free agent, so maybe they don't bring him back because they want to save money for extending Hurts next year or something. I don't know. I think he will be back, C.J. Gardner, but in this scenario, let's just say they don't. You take Brian Branch and throw him in at safety, and that secondary gets somehow better, I feel like, almost. I really like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, so maybe not better, but they do get younger. Brian Branch and Christian Gonzalez for the Eagles would be huge additions. I would hate to see it as a Cowboys fan. But that's my first round mock draft. Usually with these, I kind of have, I kind of do a sketch before. This one, I did at first, and it kind of just went off track. I last second decided I wanted to take Jordan Addison for Houston, and after that, it just kind of went all over the place. I think a lot of this is going to definitely change, so don't hate me for my opinion. Anthony Richardson, I feel like, is going to go higher just because of his upside. Teams are going to love it. They're going to see how strong his arm is on top of it. On top of, how fast he is. He's a mobile quarterback with a deep arm. I think he just needs more time to sit and learn how to read a defense, basically. But yeah, I'll probably end up doing a video on Anthony Richardson alone in the future. But yeah, that's going to be my mock draft. If you guys did enjoy it, do not forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and peace out.